Yeah, the one I call Little Mom. With her little calf, right? I believe that calf's the one that Tylen calls Batman. She came in here because I'm filling buckets and bringing them up, and she thought I was going to give her more. Becky cleaned that up. Excuse me. So, till that pile's out of there, I really can't get in with the skid steer without blasting it everywhere to move. So, I got to go all the way around. Those two buckets, when they're full, go over there for morning. And these two buckets go back up here with these buckets. Yeah. Be nice to have a good spot to set that. I actually thought about move that stuff right there. And I can set it up here. We'll see. I don't know. You know, kind of lost the spot to put the big one. It's empty anyway. And over there by the skid steer, the tote with the pallets on top of it. That one's empty. So we got enough empty tote we can make a batch of feed. Next one ends like 3/4 full, I think. We topped the drill off where we parked it in the barn last night. And there was evidence that it had rained a little bit when I got up this morning. You know, drops on things, nothing bad. And every now and then, I've been in here for quite a while, tinking around. Every now and then, I hear tinkles on the roof. It was actually almost trying to get with it for a couple minutes, but look out there, it ain't done nothing. So, I'm going to finish filling buckets and get them done. And try to decide, well, one thing, go look outside and look up on the hill. If it's raining up there, there's no sense in even trying to disc. It's hard enough yesterday, keeping it moving. Maybe instead, try to find some front tires for that tractor. I don't know. Of course, I'm going to do that. Probably should have it down here because usually they like to have a little water if they're going to put calcium in, unless they bring it all with them. Of course, they got a pump tooled out, so shouldn't need much new. Unless I wipe one of those tires out, then we need to do it all over again. But I also kind of like to wash things off after they're full of calcium. But they can do it up there just as well as they can do it here. I just got to see if we can find any. That's what's, you know. First, I got for the one outfit. I mean, they like 1,100 freaking bucks a piece. I'm not buying the rears. I'm looking to buy a couple of fronts. Anyway, I'm not getting anything done yet, so bring it back. Doesn't look like I did much down there, but trust me, I've been an hour doing that little neck. Throwing it uphill with the front gang, it just kind of throws it up a little, and then the back gang lays it right back over, but it's cut. The spots here don't look like I did much either, but you can tell which way I was going. That threw downhill. That threw uphill. It is what it is. Now I go over this another 2 times with this disc and probably 2 times with the other disc. Maybe we'll have something fit to put some seed in. I hope. So anyway, not much of a view today. That tire's sopping wet. That gave me a couple of issues. I spun out a couple times. Funny thing though, when I've spun out, before I can get my foot on the clutch and pump the throttle back, the front end's been dug in at least a foot. So yeah, even though they're bone, they still seem to be able to dig it out. And I wish when they logged down there, they'd have gone to the bottom of that neck and cleaned that up. We used to farm down to an old stump that was in there, and that old stump's at least 50 feet from the end now. Just, you know, when I had a cap, we never had it up here. Should have. And that would have took them, maybe an hour to clean that up nice. Get everything grubbed out of the way and leave me a nice clean spot to scratch around and plant. But you know, it is what it is. Had tie up here earlier. little patch across the road, throwing sticks out of the way, and up here in the corner, there used to be an old walnut tree that always been in the way. Well, somebody took it out, but they scattered frickin' branches everywhere, so spent about a half an hour picking those up, getting them out of the field. But I never knew this down here was a nice little flat. We could never really see through there. They cleaned all that up and obviously planted the pasture. Get you a little better view now. Ed called me about, I don't know, half hour ago, or he texted me. Told me it was raining down at home. Which, dead center of the screen, there's a hill there. Home is to the right of that, down at the bottom of that hill. And it looks like it's kind of tinkling out there. Every now and then I get a little on the windshield, but not enough to do anything. And it looks like it's doing stuff over there too. Yeah. Is it enough to do anything? I don't know. Just started my second pass, second time over. And I'll bring you around so you can see what kind of difference it's making. A little bit. And I think we're going to do the same thing we did in that other field. Little disc will follow the same direction I'm going, but I want it to dry a little bit. Thought about calling her and having her come up and start up here, but I want to wait a little bit on it. Yeah, nice and smooth. Smoother now than it was. It's soft enough it gives a little now. But that'll be what I'm doing right now. Back and forth. Back and forth takes time, but the only way I know to cut a different direction so you can get it broke up good. Now I suppose we could get a big fancy rotavator and put it on a 1,000 horse tractor and just rotivate it and reparate that. Kind of looks like it's raining harder over that way. Every now and then the windshield gets wet. Oh, look, the toaster. Tally's behind me somewhere. And she's just going down in the neck. Going the same direction I went. Kind of see a difference up there below the house, maybe. I don't know if you can see it on the screen or not. And there's the difference I'm making over here. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell where I've been. But it's cutting out. If I can keep her in the screen, there she is. She opted to not do that on an angle like I did. She's going up and down, which is probably the better option. She doesn't have duals on. And it's steeper than it looks from here. When I plant, I always run out of power and traction coming up to come around that draw. Some might say we'll go the other direction. That's great. The steepest spot is the very short distance on this side of that finger, right at the top of the draw. But the other side, it's steep all the way up. It's only like the first 2 or 3 passes, and then it goes pretty good. Yeah, we can go that way. I don't think so. I've looked at that and looked at that and looked at that. You know, I wouldn't even go down that from here. That's one of those that you get a third of the way up to the bottom walking and you're out of breath. And then you decide it's not worth going the rest of the way. It'd be nice to be able to work through that, or at least most of it. If we worked through the bottom, I wouldn't care if there was a hole in the middle of the field. It'd make a big difference on how this place gets worked. But yeah, like I say, it is what it is. And it looks like the windshield's getting a little more on it. coming around on a right turn when you set the disc down until it gets straightened up. It just about stops things. I don't care what you put in front of it. Once it's straight, then it pulls. Let's see, this one worked out really good. We're going over this with a little disc just once and have that ready to plant. But the problem is, we got the rest of it. And I only have one more pass right here, and then I get to move farther that way. All I got left is, you can see the line in the middle of the screen from there over. She's got a lot left. Then I'm going to hope it's going to be enough, but I got a feeling we're going to have to go over it all again and not just round and round before we plant. I think we're going to be on an angle again. Most of it doesn't need it, but there's enough that does. It's kind of hard not to do all of it. I guess I could give you that angle for a minute. And sorry about the audio on this. Part of it I did with just my phone. Part of it I got my headset on, and for some reason it seems quieter. I listened to some of it earlier. Well, my last pass between lands was exactly one full pass. This one's a little narrow, but parallel all the way through. Start the next one. I'm going to move over another 100, 150 feet, somewhere in there. And hey, no electronics to do that. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th one. And only one of them was kind of screwed up, but it was still from half pass at one end to a full pass at the other end. So I still got it. And I ain't had to worry much about that since we used to plow. We haven't plowed in 30 years. I figured I'd show you where we're at now. I'm across from the other field, this little strip. When we started farming this, those trees they just logged were maybe 2 feet tall, if that. They hadn't been planted for more than about a year. I used to have quite a few pictures. I don't know, I can't find them, they're not in this phone. But, sunsets through the trees when we'd be coming out of that field at night with equipment. It's pretty cool. But yeah, we're done for the day. She broke the radio.
Negatory's been broke for a while.
Frickin' white plastic fuse holder. Sun hits it through the window and it fell apart. So we're gonna fix that. But I think we timed it right because that is more serious rain that's hitting me now. And she's only been parked maybe a minute and a half. I'm getting wet and she's my ride. Well, look at those tires. So, there they sit.
I made a wet spot and I'm glad I made it through.
Hopefully it doesn't do too much. It'd be nice to get this shit done. But anyway, it's dinner time. Becky just checked it and said it's about ready, so. But we're gonna sneak up the hill and had a guy stop. His house, he lost a bunch of reprod. They logged it before the fire up here, and he says, yeah, they ended up replanting all of it. And he had fire up to his house. But he's got a patch of ground there across the road that I wanted to know if we wanted to farm, so well, we'll take a look at it.